tell me something about what you do that you don't like and why.
Managing emotions and managing like how to keep the staff like going and, you know, marketing themselves.
What's up, everybody? I'm Walter Hooper, owner of WA Hooper Marketing. And I'm going to call this season 3 of Marketing Minds Meet. And let me tell you, it's been quite a year, and I've made quite a few new connections, including this particular guest and counterpart who I just met today for the first time. They are part of a salon and spa here in Grosse Pointe in the Bubble. Yes, it is the Bubble. And I am here today with Betsy and Clair of the Lon Next Door Salon and Spa. Ladies, how are you doing today?
Pretty good.
We're great.
Yeah.
We're ready. You know, we just both got off a plane.
Yeah,
Here
so
we are.
Yep.
Yeah, so tell me.
Feeding off of each other's energy.
Always.
So tell me about that. You guys were, they were in the Carolinas, right? Or
No, she's actually coming from Florida. She lives in Florida. And then I was at a hair training in Virginia Beach.
That's right. It was
Yes.
down south.
Yeah.
I was close, but so tell me first, Betsy. We connected and got to know each other through a group that we belong to, and kind of just hit it off, I think, right?
Yeah.
And so tell me about how you started your business. Tell me about the journey. All those details. I want to hear it.
Yeah. How far back do you want to go?
As far back as you want.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you ask my mom, I've been doing hair for 34 years, like since I was born. I started doing really getting interested in hair, I think as a tot. So it just came natural to me, and I've literally wanted to do hair my entire life. So it's really just evolved over time. And there was actually a teacher who didn't say it to me, but said to my mom that he didn't think that it would be a great idea if I went into doing hair. And it actually spoke to me in a way of like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And I wanted to do like the co-op program in high school. And then I did not do that. My mom was a little bit filled with regret of telling me that at the time. But I think, and I know that it was the best thing that she could have done, because I got the best education I did as an adult, going to beauty school and making that decision as an adult to go and follow my passion. So I think that's the best thing you can do for anything anybody's doing with their life, is just following your passions and go for it and do it and do the best that you can do. So I was 22, went to beauty school, and I've really been putting my all into my career the last 12 years. And it's been a ride. It really has. I've been getting into a lot, just going to Virginia Beach this past weekend, getting into hair extensions now is evolving and elevating my craft, and just more fine detail work is more of what I'm really interested in, and your scalp health and really the healthier options we can get into in hairdressing and the beauty industry in general, honestly. Over time, just getting into all of the things that I have done in the career, just getting all the experience has brought me to today. Really following the healthier path for the industry, because there's a lot of toxicity within our industry. So we have a low tox salon in Grosse Pointe, and I believe it is the first one. And we have a low tox environment, which means we have lower toxicity. We're more organic and vegan systems that we use. And then also our pricing is way different than anyone else in the area. We're actually, what we offer is genderless services, which means it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or non-binary, the pricing is what it is. So it's really cool to offer that, because then anybody is comfortable walking into our space and is treated the same. So we're genderless and gratuity free. So we're all inclusive services.
It's interesting. I've never really heard that being thrown, especially in this part of town, because it's a bit foreign, and it may, to some people, it might be like, oh, what is that about? But I feel like the people that are in it, and get it, are going to be, they're just going to be immersed fully.
100%. And it's more like I said, all inclusive. So like it's more transparent with the pricing and just the structure, and they feel like they're taken care of the entire time they're with you. So they're not like questioning like, oh, something got left out, or, we have signature and bliss services, which we are known for those. And the difference between those is the signature is like we have a standard of how we provide our services. The bliss is giving you extra relaxation, and those are generally longer services. So you're spending more time with us, which we want you to do. We want you to have an experience with us and enjoy the time that you're there, and not feeling like you're going in and out. You're not just coming in and like rushed. So we want you to come and relax and be and enjoy yourself.
It absolutely 1000%. And I think too, when I first visited for an event that you so graciously hosted for this group, I walked in, and right away I felt a sense of calm. And I'll say it, it's my show. A lot of places like that, like especially in the beauty industry, feels a bit chaotic when you walk in. Mm-hmm. It just feels like, you're being pulled apart by every avenue, and people are like trying to like get your attention like that, or they're trying to like push you something that maybe you don't necessarily need.
Right.
And right away when I walked in, I didn't get that feeling. I felt I don't know if it's like the chakras or whatever you want to call it, but the energy or whatever. But it was very refreshing and reassuring to know that, oh, there is a place that isn't so like in your face. And I mean, for some people that works.
Yeah, I mean, there's something for everybody. This is just something that we are offering, and I believe that it isn't for everybody. There's some people who don't want to spend 2 hours for a pedicure, but that's what we are there to offer, because like I'll speak on our nail tech specifically. They all are very detailed with their work. Just like our cosmetologists are as well with hair, and our estheticians. Like, we are giving you our full attention the entire time that we're with you, and not like slacking on anything. But we are fine detailing our work. So we're not just like skipping out on, like, for example, in a pedicure or manicure, like they are fine detailing their cuticles. And the cuticle care is the most important for your health, for your nails, right? Like, that's where your nails growing from. So if you don't have like a really good cuticle, then your nails might not grow as well, or they might not have like the strongest nail bed. So they're taking care, like we're all taking care of each person.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very genuine and sincere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I said, sometimes it just seems like that's not the case. It's just, hey, I think you need this, try it out, and they push. And mm-hmm. I'm the kind of person, like, if you push something too much with me, like, it's going to be a turn off, and B, like, I might snap back.
Yeah.
And be like,
yeah,
like, mind the space. Like,
mm-hmm.
I know what you're doing. I appreciate it, but just let me explore, let me do my thing. So since this is called Marketing Minds Meet, so and we do want to dissect a little bit into avenues that have worked successfully for you, maybe that haven't, or maybe it's trial and error, especially now in the digital realm of social media, now that we have all of these platforms. Mm-hmm. And this is a question for the both of you. Where have you seen the Lon's biggest success in the social media realm? Has it been Instagram, Facebook? Are you on TikTok? Where have you seen it hasn't been successful? And, do you see yourself even migrating into, dare I say, the AI Web 3.0 realm, where you could there is a possibility where you could have a salon and spa in the virtual Web 3.0 world.
Yeah, it's funny you said that, because I'm not like very, I mean, I understand it a little bit, the AI, but Michael, my partner, he is like very much into that, and he's been talking to me a lot about that. So trying to figure out like where we can go with that. But even like, I don't know if it's AI or there's something else technology based, that is where you can create like a filter where like we can create like nails, virtual nail filters that you can just like put your finger under and like kind of like have like the Lon logo on it that Claire made or something, like
nice plug there.
Yeah.
See what you're doing. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I like the segue.
But yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Like there is something that he showed me too, like you could build like a city on your nail. Yeah, it's like The Sims is like on your top of your nail bed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
or we could create something like, like how they do like filters on Instagram, like with like glitter and stuff. Like we could make it like where there's goddess glitter in your hair.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because as an artist, with the whole AI thing, I worry that it's taking work away from us as artists.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel by using something like that, would that take away from your nail techs?
No.
Would that only
because
amplify what they can do for you?
I think it's just like an extra thing, right?
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, you're not walking around with that, like, on your nail.
Oh.
It's just like a filter, not like a,
Oh.
you know what I mean?
It's just
Yeah.
like a picture you're taking.
Like a holographic thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I kind of know what you're getting at.
Yeah, maybe not the AI thing, but like the other.
It's not like it's not like an NFT or anything like that.
Well, I think that's what.
NFT.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a whole other.
Yeah, we'll
that's
get
a
into
whole
that
other
whole
rabbit hole.
Other podcast.
We could dissect that. But also I think to your point, Claire, with the AI, I think too, because I was just having a conversation with someone that I connected with here at the office last week, and we sat down and tried to think of maybe a collaborative effort that we could work with one another on, and we got on the subject of AI. And my whole thought process is, I think just like with anything, if you don't understand it, and we don't right now, it's still very new. However, I think it's still a robot. It's still it's not a human being. You can try, but you can't replicate, and you really cannot replace the one-on-one human interaction where you get to know somebody, and we have these things which robots don't, call emotion.
Right.
See? Yes. and you can't do that. And I think that's why ultimately I think AI, and I'm making the prediction right now, AI it's not going anywhere. It's going to and it is continuing to evolve. However, I think the more people get to understand it, and I think because it's such a foreign concept right now still for a lot of people, I think there are just certain people or individuals haven't been able to just break it down in layman's terms for the general public. For someone like myself or that's in the tech industry, we could talk shop all day, but if you're not in it and that's not in your industry, it could be like, whoa, this is like sensory overload,
Right. Yeah.
But to even go to kind of piggyback off of that, right now, where have you both of you seen the biggest draw and call to action with your platforms? Has it been your website? Has it been social media? Has it been mailing listings online?
I feel like for the majority of my career it started through Facebook, and then I was just getting into Instagram when I was in beauty school. So I was kind of using Instagram as more of like a hair portfolio to start, so people could see like my before and afters a lot, and those started taking off a lot. So people liked to see what I was doing. And then I, started posting all of my openings like every week on Facebook. So I would kind of like go back and forth between the two. just to kind of keep up with both platforms. And I feel like I would attract different audiences from both. So I found myself over time too, like getting away from Facebook because I was so dedicated to Instagram at the time. But then I went back a little bit through Facebook and noticed like, oh, I'm still getting clients through there too. So it was a little bit refreshing to like go back and forth. But keeping with Instagram consistently throughout my entire career has been like phenomenal. And just like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people want to see like our personal life, our hair, like our industry life, and just, I don't know, fun stuff, like what our passions are even outside of the career.
Yeah, it's a great platform to really get to know your clientele and them to get to know you.
Right.
It's so great. For me, with Instagram, I think I've actually made most of my business via Instagram and going live on TikTok, which I don't do as often, but I'm pretty sure most of my work is funneled through Instagram.
Yeah.
Like I think all of my art shows, about 12 different art shows now, have been thanks to Instagram. People will find me and say, would you like to be a part of this show? And I've sold pieces through it as well. So I think honestly, that's the best platform right now, and just like the artistry industry.
Yeah, and then like being able to like link our websites to it now too. So like, you know, like Claire's got art that she can sell on your website, and so she can link that, or like we can post like whatever is like open, or I don't know, it's just
especially with Linktree that you can put in your bio. That's
like
wonderful.
our affiliate link. So like we actually got away from carrying a lot of like hair products and skincare products in the salon, so we're not wasting products and like if it's just sitting and like, you know, going through a long shelf life, you know, because that in the end is wasteful and not helping anybody. It's like wasting our money. It's wasting like,
and it's like going against your message.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Like we want to move into a more green like atmosphere and like be zero waste. So why are we just holding on to things that we can special order? And like, you know, I've moved into the affiliate links where people can just order when they want to. And then they can get it shipped right to them. Or if they know like, hey, your next appointment is this time, what are we going to need at that appointment? And we'll special order it so it's there. They can pick up at that appointment, and then it's already taken care of, and it's not like just sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, and also to that point too, because I've had multiple conversations with clients and other people in the industry, it's now Instagram has become such a monolith for e-commerce, where like you really, if it push came to shove, you don't really need a website. You could have everything on there. It's the tools that it has created for the user, and more specifically for business owners and entrepreneurs. You could literally run. I have bought things off of Instagram. Yeah. You know, I bought clothing items. I bought, you know, music items off of there. Like it's incredible, and I think that's where I'm putting a lot of my time and efforts into that, and YouTube obviously, but also too demographic. You know, each platform has a different demographic. Right. Facebook, you're going to get a little bit more of the I'll say the seasoned crowd. So you'll get like, you know, some of the Gen Xers, baby boomers, you know, and that's a demographic. But then on Instagram, you know, I'm sure because you know, both of you look at the metrics, you know, I know for me, I'm seeing a lot of individuals like in the millennial, our generation, or even some Gen Zers. And it's like, you know, but also something to think about too is, you know, in the next 5 to 10 years, we will be the working majority in this country. The boomers are already retiring. A good chunk of them are. Gen Xers are going to start to think about retiring like very soon. Yeah. So it's like, how are you going to be able to kind of segue into, you know, catering to now the next era of consumers?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's loaded.
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
I know. Well, I mean, our main focus right now has like been like relaxing, healing, and rejuvenation. So like what we really want people to do at the Lon is to come and relax and just like spend the day with us. So we're really like moving into more experiences. So I feel like also since COVID, I feel like there's almost like a, you know, anybody can take the day, whatever day of the week. It doesn't really matter like what day of the week you do things for like your self-care or mental health anymore. Like it's more like, you know, accepted to like take the time for you. So I think it's, you know, kind of moving into more like the experience and like events route for us. So we're getting, I wouldn't say like less people in, but because we want to focus on quality time with people, we're having more people come in and spending more time with us throughout the whole day. And then like what we actually just did today, we went down and got some rhythm and blue.
Just kidding.
So whenever anyone's in the salon, we're always getting nourishing everybody with rhythm and blue smoothies and smoothie bowls. So instead of them going and getting junk after spending a good, you know, time
On
taking
their
care
health.
of them, taking care of themselves,
Yeah.
instead of going to get McDonald's or something, we're feeding them in the space, but with another local small business. And it's good food. It's good for you, and it's nourishing and rejuvenating
Yes,
yourself.
it is. Yes.
What did you get?
I got the
Gold digger.
Gold
Yeah.
digger, yes.
It's my favorite.
With mango and cinnamon and
good.
all the good stuff. Yeah. And I was dead before I came here. I was so
Yeah.
exhausted.
I know, we were
and
both- yeah,
it
we-
gave me just the right amount of energy.
Well, it was funny because we were both like, oh my God, where can we eat quick before going to see Walter? And I'm like, oh my gosh, we wanted to go somewhere else, but there was some technical difficulty. I'm like, well, that made it easy. Let's go to Rhythm and Blue. And we probably should get that anyways, because it's going to lift us up because of the day we've already had. We've already been up since 3, 4, 6 in the morning. So.
And it's right there. It's so
Yeah.
fast and convenient.
Yeah, we walked.
Support your local businesses,
That's
people.
right.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna segue here into now we're gonna get. I mean, this all been real, but now we're gonna get like real.
Okay.
So
I'm buckling up.
I know.
so I know, you know, doing work for previous beauty industry companies and entities and this and the like. You know, one thing I think that a lot of people I think don't really fully understand, or maybe there's maybe some misconceptions, maybe there's some stereotypes. You know, what do you say to the individuals, you know, that, you know, maybe think that what this is, like what the industry as a whole, not like you and your business, but just the industry as a whole in beauty, you know, what do you say to the individual or individuals, plural, you know, that maybe think that you're just pandering to people's vanity and preying on their insecurities, and you're just trying to make a profit for yourself? Yeah, sure, you might mask as this, you know, oh, pimp, whatever, but really, you know, it's just about catering to people's vanity, and how is that contributing to society? What do you say to that?
Well, I can tell you right now that I just had my first Lon Next Door experience, and there was no vanity involved whatsoever. I was pampered the entire time. She never once like took her hand off of me. I felt very like I mattered, and she gave me a great massage. I got the scalp treatment, and I practically fell asleep in my chair. It did not feel like we were working on my looks, as like my outside aesthetics whatsoever. I felt like I was just being treated like family, and it felt wonderful and rejuvenating. And I'm like, wait, you did my hair? Is that why we're here? So yeah, did you want to add to that?
I mean, that was great. A real life review.
That's right, 5-star,
gosh,
baby.
Yeah. So I mean, man. Okay. So vanity is, it's a thing for a lot of people in the world. Like
Indeed
people
it
want
is.
people want to look good, but what I really want to know is how they feel. I want to know how they feel. Like, do you feel good after you're in my chair, or, you know, getting your nails done, or after a massage? How do you feel? Not how do you look? So I think it's just like a different mindset of like, you know, whatever salon you go to, like, how are you feeling when you're leaving that space, you know? But
because you focus, I mean, every part of you is touched on, like your mental, your physical, your emotional health while you're there. And it really, like, I feel like it focuses mainly on your physical and mental well-being, whereas your outside appearance comes last, really.
yeah. And I think really, like, with us using the chakras as well, like, you know, we've intentionally created, like, you know, for the hair services, I always have the crown, third eye, throat, and heart chakra at our hair stations because we are touching those points. The heart is at every part of the salon because I feel like everyone is feeling things from their heart. But like I am touching the crown. The crown is actually where you hold your identity. So that is where a lot of people feel like the vanity, quote unquote, vanity comes from. But, you know, I actually just had somebody come in last week having an identity crisis because she colored her hair. She messed it up, was like, literally, she pulled down like her like turtleneck and showed me she was breaking out in hives because she was so stressed out about it because she didn't feel like her. So like, it's not just a vanity thing of like what you look like, but if you're looking in the mirror and you don't see yourself, then that is like a whole identity crisis, but it's like from within. So, you know,
what you're doing is you're bringing people closer to themselves.
Correct.
It's self-care first.
And, you know, looks have a lot to do with it because, like, it's a visual thing, but it's not in such a vain way. It's more of, like, the emotion and, like, how it makes you feel. And if you feel good, then, like, you're doing all of the things well that you want to do outside of that.
And it's just a ripple effect into everyone's lives.
Yeah.
And you're aware, and all of your employees are aware that you are not just working on people, you are transferring energy.
Yeah, it's a whole energy transfer. Whole energy transfer.
Yeah. And, you know, you can strip away all the looks and energy's still lit.
Yeah. 100%.
So,
yeah.
That's where we start.
All right,
Yeah.
that was quite the answer.
Yeah.
But that's why I ask these types of questions, because it's so easy to fall to go into the pitfall of, well, you know, live my best life and, you know, look good, feel good. It's just like, okay, I've heard that like so many times. You know, getting pounded into the pavement, following other, you know, beauty accounts, you know, through, you know, and just seeing what I'm just like, come on, like, and plus maybe it's a guy thing, I don't know, but
no, I hear you for sure. And it's also what you share, the kind of content and what you're putting out there. Her stuff is very authentic and real, and it's not, you know, ridiculously photoshopped, and you feel like you can relate to it, and that's really important, is having relatable content.
And we like very rarely Photoshop anything.
There you go.
So what you see is what you get at the Lon.
I like that. I like that. So to continue this ride on the real train, so I guess maybe to kind of piggyback off of that a little bit, what do you see a lot of other salon and spas? Obviously, you don't have to name names, but like, where do you see a lot of salon and spa businesses? Maybe what they fall short on, you know, where do they miss them? What are some things that they miss the mark with as far as, you know, the industry as a whole? Is it, you know, cutting corners? Is it, you know, not respecting the clients like they should be respected? You know, where do you see some of the biggest drawbacks in your industry?
So, just from my experience alone and attending other classes and hearing other beauty professionals talk, I think from the professional standpoint, a lot of professionals are actually taken advantage of from graduation from beauty school and not really directed into or guided on how to think in like a business standpoint. So I think they're like just really taken advantage of and like being like, you know, you need to do this and like have models all the time and like do things for free or like work for nothing. Like that's not true. Like one of my mentors in beauty school, she was already experienced. She was already doing hair. She just needed to like get her license and like she got her shit together to like be a professional. So she was already elevated from like graduation. She already knew what she was doing for years. So I don't believe in the sense of like charging less just because you're freshly licensed. I know a lot of people who think that they can't charge what they feel like they can charge just because they're new.
Or what they're worth.
And just the value of what you're doing. So like I think that is like a whole nother topic that I'm not gonna like fully dive into because I could just go on for days with that. But
That could be for part 2.
Yeah, we can do a part 2. But to that point, how we're doing things at the Lon is paying all of our staff a living wage, and we are creating that respectful space for them, and also for the clients, we are connecting with them instead of just like applying their color, going in the back for 30-40 minutes and like leaving them to process. You know, most times we're doing like hand massages while they're processing or sitting with them and talking with them and like really giving them all of our time because we're not double and triple booking. So we're not like not focused on them. We're giving them one-on-one services.
Can I add something?
Yes.
So I've worked at some salons in the past, and of course we're not going to name any, but going off what you said in regards to like we're not going in the back and while they're processing and talking, and we're literally like focusing on one-on-one. So I know a lot of people who feel like a number when they go into a salon, or there's a lot of drama being spoken between the different hairstylists. So that can instantly make you feel as a customer
like
that
out of place, or like they're being talked
uncomfortable,
to.
or they're being talked about, right?
Talked about,
yeah. And just like when hairstylists are sitting there like bickering back and forth, it's just like you don't feel like a person,
and you don't want to be there.
Yeah, and you feel like they don't want you to be there.
Right.
So
there's none of that.
That's
a zero tolerance policy for us.
And that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to get out of the industry years ago. It was just so much drama,
and it's also been looked at as like a very catty profession, and it's been looked at like a hobby and not a career. And a lot of people don't. That's what I mean, like when you're not really taught how to like create your career when you graduate beauty school, and a lot of people don't have that focus for that specific like drive because they just think, oh, I'm gonna work at a salon and just like see what I can do, and not really feel like you're being guided. Like I am a self-starter, so I just like want, and I'm a doer. So I was getting myself into all the things and doing as much as I could possibly do at the, my entire career. But at the beginning, I was one of those hairstylists that was double and triple booking only because I did not want to sit in the back room and chit chat.
Well, and you probably weren't guided correctly.
And I wasn't guided correctly, and I was, I wasn't allowed, quote unquote, allowed to raise my prices where I wanted them to be. So I didn't want to waste my time and money, and I needed to make money. So I was not wasting my time and booking every second I could to make my own money. So, I mean...
And that's sad that most hairstylists probably fall into that because that's just the system.
And most salons aren't paying out their stylists properly and taking advantage of them not knowing like what they should be charging for services, but also being charged for like their commission and product costs and all of those things. Like as a business owner, like we're the ones purchasing the product, and yes, the client is paying for their service. Like it is a convenience that they're using our products, and it is built into the pricing. But also the stylist shouldn't be taking the hit. The business is, supplying all of that. And so, I would walk away as a younger stylist with like 35 to 40% commission. Like that wasn't good. I'm doing most of the work here. It's my art. I'm the artist, and I'm putting in all of that labor of love. I mean, yes, I was at a great salon when I first started out. I am very grateful for where I started. Even from beauty school, I felt like I started at an elevated professional school, and I went into a very elevated professional salon in the community, and I, learned a lot, good and bad, from my experience. But I can only speak for myself. And when I left that salon and started doing things on my own and figuring out like how I wanted to shift and adapt and evolve, I figured out like how I wanted to treat my staff and respect them and their time and their energy and what they're putting into their work.
Wow. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's their art,
Well, yeah, and I think there's so many things that we could dive more into, but we won't today. Again, part 2, the sequel. I want a couple things that stood out to me was knowing your worth, especially when you're starting out in that industry or any industry, especially as an entrepreneur. Sometimes it's hard to gauge what your self-worth is professionally, and that's something I feel that quite a few people fall trapped into. And so for you to realize that and to acknowledge that, that's props to you, because not very many people do that.
She's paving the way, baby.
Oh yeah. I know a lot of people are scared, and I know a lot of people always tell me, Betsy, you're expensive, but I know what I need to charge. I'm like, I'm running a business. It's not my hobby. I'm not doing it out of my house. And I know people have professional salons in my house. That was not a dig whatsoever. But I am doing this professionally in a big salon space, and it's not the client's position or job to know what we need to be charging, and know all of our overhead and bills. Like, I know what I need to do at the end of the day, and that's our job. That's why we've set the prices and we've set these standards.
Hashtag capitalism for the win. Welcome to America, baby. Last real question, then we'll go into some fun topics, some fun things,
Yeah,
and we'll
because
go live.
this is not fun at all.
Well, but that's why.
I'm
that's
starting
why,
to fall asleep over here. Walter.
But that's why it's like, okay, because I'm a Star Wars guy, so it's like the Force. There needs to be a balance in the Force, the light and the dark.
For sure.
So the last dark question I have. Look at that.
The ASMR's already starting.
Tell me something about what you do that you don't like and why.
Oh, geez. Well, what I don't like? Well, I'm learning a lot about every part of my business. I don't feel like what's not come easy to me is managing people.
Ah, okay.
Go
on.
I mean, I am very blessed with a great staff of people, but I think just like managing emotions and managing like how to keep the staff like going and marketing themselves, because I just naturally do it for myself and for the salon, and I'm constantly doing it for them, but I've been learning how to step away a little bit of like doing it for them and teaching them and guiding them how to do it for themselves. And, at the end of the day, there was someone we did have that didn't like that I would tag them in a bunch of things for them to repost. And I was taking the guesswork out of, and I still do, take a lot of the guesswork out of helping them market. but they didn't want to do like, oh my gosh, you can't expect me to be on Instagram all the time and doing this. But at the end of the day, if I'm the one constantly putting someone in your chair, if you're not connecting with them, then what's the point of me putting someone in your chair? You should be attracting who you want in your chair. So I've quickly learned, like, still learning, but quickly learned that it's not about what I need to do for them, but what they need to do for themselves, because they're also building their own clientele, and it's not just for the salon, it's for each individual. So that, I mean, I like marketing, but I think it's the saying, the definitive yes or no, and it's more of the no, like, no, you have to do this, or, you know, being the leader.
And, you know, it's like as the old saying goes, you know, a fish begins to smell at the head. And in this case, that is not the case.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's sometimes you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it.
Right.
And I think, and it's just their experience and time, you know, learning how to just say to people nicely, like, hey, get your shit together, promote yourself. Don't do this just for me and the salon, but do it for you, because I have other things as the owner and other tasks and priorities that take precedent. I can't be here holding your hand doing this.
Exactly.
Like, I can guide you. I can give you the tools and the resources and maybe do a quick little crash course, hint, hint. However, you know, you have to do this on your own. Why? And I think maybe the question to ask them, like, if you see some struggles, it's like, why are you here?
Right.
Why are you doing this? You know, what is your main goal and focus? What do you think your purpose here is? You know, and I feel like that would get you get a pretty decent reaction from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. So managing people is tough.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy.
Maybe you could do like a monthly, like,
We
checking
do,
in
we
on
do
our
one-on-one.
whys.
We do like one-on-one. Oh, on the whys, those specific. Yeah, that's good.
Because we need to constantly remind ourselves, let alone your whole team. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and again, I think you leading them and leading by example.
Right.
You're not just telling them, you're doing it. You're constantly online. I see your posts and all of your content out there. Like, you're doing it. So now it's just how does that translate to the people on your floor? You know, how can they be able to maybe find their voice, find their persona? You know, and like, that's through trial and error, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get into some fun things.
Okay.
All right. We are off the dark train, the dark topics train, but we do that for a reason, because I feel like that's how I get to know the individual, not just this surface level stuff. All right, so before we do that, we're gonna go live on my YouTube channel. So you ready?
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
Meanwhile, we thought we were live this whole
I
time.
know.
No. That would
I
have
have to do
been.
that all over.
So we are now live. What's going on, everybody? Walter Hooper of WA Hooper Marketing, and we are streaming a part of our season 3 debut of Marketing Minds Meet. And I am sitting here today with two business pioneers here in the Grosse Pointe community. I am sitting here with Betsy and Claire, who are part of the Lon Next Door Salon and Spa. Ladies, say hello to everybody on the channel.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
So, if you want to just give a brief overview of the both of you, how you connected, and how what is the Lon Next Door? What is it? What is it?
Waiting for
Oh,
that
okay. Well, I
question.
can tell you. Yeah, my name is Betsy. I'm the owner of the Lon Next Door. The whole name of my salon came to be from my daughter. when she was 2, I was working at Collab Salon, which is also in the community of Grosse Pointe. And she would ask me, Mommy, can I go to the Lon with you? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so cute. So I wrote it down in my journal. I'm like, that's going to be the name of my salon one day, the Lon. I really loved that. I then found out that the salon next door to Collab was actually, for sale. And we decided to start talking with those salon owners, and we talked for months. And then I naturally, moved in, was renting for them for a while to figure out if we really wanted to be there. We got to know the building. And then I started telling my clients I'm now at the salon next door, and that just kind of rolled off the tongue. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Lon Next Door. I love that. And it's got a greater meaning, not just the neighbor now of the next door. I went next door and I never talked to those people anymore. We are great neighbors. We love them. And we talk still. Perfect. People ask us that a lot. Oh, how is that? It's completely fine. Yeah. So yeah, the Lon Next Door, the next door, we're going to be a neighbor to a lot of different people and just a bigger part of a community oriented, focused space. Claire and I met a couple years ago at a wedding, and we are actually meeting up with these ladies tonight.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'll chime in.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a mutual friends, and her and I had never met prior to the wedding. And this was November 20th, 2021.
Yes.
At Sam and Lou's wedding. We'll name drop them.
Yep.
And she said, okay, I'm going to sit you next to so-and-so and so-and-so because I think you'll really hit it off with our friend Betsy. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, tell me about this person. She's like, she's really fun. She's really artsy. She's a hairstylist. And then I'm thinking, oh, crap, I better be on my hair A game, my A hair game when I get there. And I was doing my hair on my own. And I remember, it wasn't fully done.
Yes.
And I purposely wore a hat because I knew I'd be sitting next to a hairstylist.
And I also wore the same hat.
Yeah.
I never wear, very rarely wear hats. So it was just really funny. Well, it was just really funny because you're like, oh my gosh, the hairstylist is wearing the hairstylist hat.
Right. And then we just hit off with anything and everything that we were talking about.
Dancing, music,
spirituality,
art, everything.
Yeah. Hair, obviously. And then
art.
Mm-hmm. And then I was telling you how I was the social media manager for a couple companies at the time. You're like, oh my God. Well, I'm looking for a social media manager. Yeah. And we're like, well, the stars have aligned. Yeah. And then we became best friends ever since. And we started doing Zoom calls literally once a week.
Yeah. For a while.
Yeah. And we didn't end up, I helped you a little bit with design and marketing, but we didn't really dive as deep into that as we thought. And then when she saw all of my artwork, she asked me to design the logo for the Lon Next Door. And so that is one of my creations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and the rest is history.
Claire's created. Yeah. Elayna Clair Creations.
That's right.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead, plug it.
Yeah. Yeah. Her logo is really cute. Really cute.
Your logo.
Our logo.
So I love it. I love the I see the enthusiasm. I see it's all there. It's why it works. You connect it right away
the chemistry.
The chemistry, and you wore the same hat. How crazy is that? So I wanna know, right now, we're pretty much, life is kind of pretty much back to normal. I think everyone's kind of, the pandemic's been there, been there, done that. Now, what would you say is what are some of your biggest goals and objectives for not only the remainder of the year, but also in the next 5 to 10 years? Where would you like to see the future of the Lon Next Door?
Well, we're diving deeper into more charity events and community focused events, not just events, but things that are helping our community. What is going to help the community stay more, not just tight knit, but like strengthen everybody that's surrounding us. I feel like, I know a lot of people say like small business love and all of that, but it is true. Like we do need to support each other. And if there's always this like competitive feeling, like one business to the next, then we're not going to be stronger together for real. We do need to send people to other salons. Like I still, if I am getting clients calling in that I am not doing those services, I send them to Collab or other salons in the area. Like I'm not going to be able to touch every single person's hair, and that's okay. There's enough people to go around in the world. And I think a lot of people with like the scarcity mindset of like, oh my God, that's affecting my business because they're my competitor. Like just because you're down the street from me doesn't mean that we need to compete. Maybe they're not going to connect with you, and maybe they will connect with me. And maybe someone who's been to the Lon, they didn't really feel comfortable there. And just because we have longer services and they want to be in and out, well, then maybe I can find you another salon to go to. I think just like knowing more of what the community wants and what they're looking for is going to help everybody,
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And last couple questions I have. So this is for obviously the both of you.
Mm-hmm.
When you are not running the Lon Next Door, like the boss that you are, what are some of your, we'll start with you, Betsy. What are some of your favorite pastime activities and hobbies that you enjoy?
Well, I used to travel a lot. A lot. I liked to travel. Yesterday was my first flight this past weekend was my first flight since 2019. And so I would really like to start traveling more with my family and seeing more, because I feel like Margot, she just doesn't know, that's our youngest. She doesn't know like where she's traveled to because she was so young, when COVID happened. And we only did a little bit before, when she was a baby. But we took our son like a lot of different places, and he remembers a little bit, but still, that was 3 years ago. 3 years is a long time for kids, so that memory is like kind of fading. So I really want to get back into traveling. I love the water, so we go to Belle Isle Beach a lot. That is one of my family's favorite places to go. And then up north and just nature, really. I like to be out in nature and yoga.
Okay, what kind of yoga?
Well, lately I've been going to ABX, Redux in the Park, with Christy, and she does a yin yoga every Sunday that is like deep hold stretches that I love, because you're just holding those stretches for like 4 minutes at a time. It's intense, but just, it feels good. Like
release a lot.
Yeah, it does. But I like other flows as well. I'm not super picky, but the yin has been like really helpful because I do her bar classes too. So when I'm doing her bar classes, she's working out a lot of different things, and then like specifically like intentionally stretching out what we had worked on that past week to hold those stretches.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. Right. What about you?
I was gonna say she pretty much named all of mine. I love the water. I love nature, yoga, anything that has to do with health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
I am a huge weightlifter, even though looking at me, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
It's kind of my lifeline, going to the gym. And eating healthy and lessening my carbon footprint. So I'm just going to slide in there that I'm a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very passionate about keeping up with what's going on with the climate and the environment and the well-being of animals and our people and the LGBTQ plus community. And I'm an artist, so when I'm not working on a piece for a client, I'm drawing for myself. It's a form of meditation for me and therapy. Yeah. And I'm a big advocate for mental health, so anything that applies to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of art do you do?
Well,
She paints a lot.
and you want to talk about my art?
It's really, really cool.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
so yeah, that's another thing. I mean, not to take away from you, but
okay.
kind of not hinting, but circling back to the salon space, we have a rotating art gallery, and we're gonna have Claire's art on the walls at some point.
We've only been talking
I
about
know,
it for a year.
while. Yeah.
Literally.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, right now we've had 4 different artists on our walls. So we have 1 artist per season. So their art is on our walls for 3 months at a time. So it's always for sale. If you're ever like coming in and like, oh my God, this is beautiful, you can take it home. But it stays up for the season, and then it, once it gets taken down, whatever art that wants to be purchased can be purchased.
Which that's very unique, because a lot of the places that I've showcased my work, usually like at tops, at most, they'll have it up for a month. 3 months is a stretch. And so that's wonderful for us local artists. That's huge. It's a lot of traffic, and that's very appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're supporting other local artists in the salon too, like outside of the gallery. So like we're, like I touched on earlier, like we don't have a lot of like hair and skincare products just sitting on our shelves, and literally going to waste away. So we're carrying like jewelry from makers, candles, and like Detroit's Futures Female, like their tote bags and sweatshirts we have at the salon right now. So a lot of different makers and artists we want to support. So it's a big part of our mission to support more people in our community.
Look at that. Look at that. Community driven. That's what it's all about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Last but certainly not least, if there are prospective clients that want to reach out and schedule a booking, do you have a website? Do you have social media, phone number, email? How can people find you? Now is the time to plug all of the things here.
Thank you.
Well, how can they do that?
Yes. So I will start with, we do have a website, thelonnextdoor.com. You can also find us on Instagram at the Lon Next Door, which has our link tree that also directs you right to our website. And then we also have our Facebook community page. So instead of spamming everybody on my personal account, on my Betsy Styles account, I've created the Lon Next Door page, but also a group that you can request to be a part of, so you can see our constant openings and events that are scheduled through there. So it's the Lon Next Door Salon and Spa Community Board. And then my phone number. Our phone number is 313-882-6240. And then we also have a 24/7 text line. So that is 313-362-4604. We may not be active 24/7, but we will receive messages 24/7. And so we are mostly answering within our business hours back to those messages. But if you don't know like a service to choose on the website, you are more than welcome to email us, hello@thelonnextdoor.com, or text us, or give us a phone call or a DM on any of those.
All right. Well, I gotta say, this has been a great kickoff to season 3. I appreciate both of you being here, taking the time. And well,
Thanks
for
for
you,
having
welcome
us.
back to the Knot for a
Thank
second
you.
time, and welcome to the Knot for
Thank
the
you
first
for having
time.
me.
This has been great. I would love to have you back on the program and talk a little bit,
Thank
maybe
you.
go a little bit more deeper about certain topics and things like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, no, this has been another episode of Marketing Minds Meet. I'm Walter Hooper, and we as an audience have been listening to Betsy and Clair here and tell their story. Well, not tell their story. Yeah, I'm trying to refrain from using that.
Yeah.
We have been documenting their journey. That's how I like to put it. I feel like telling your story has been watered down like the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and
We'll see you next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Walter.
Thank you.